Hello everybody, this is the Dangerous Gamer, and today I'm going to show you how to get to orbit in Kerbal Space Program. The first thing you want to do is pull up your resources. This will let you know how much fuel you got even when you're in the map view. The next thing you want to do is check your staging. Make sure that everything is where you expect it to be. Lots of things go wrong when your staging's not right. The next thing is you want to switch to the map view by pressing M. Click on this little triangle down here, that'll pull up the nav ball. It'll help when you switch over to the map view so you can keep an eye on what's going on. Once you've got all that in order, go ahead and throttle up, and then press the spacebar to start your first stage and launch. Now what you're actually trying to do here is get enough sideways momentum, enough speed going sideways so that you don't fall back down. If you were to go straight up and not tip over to the side, you just come crashing back down like we all know. This was described to us by Isaac Newton, who first thought up the idea of an orbit. He had the thought experiment of a cannon on a mountain that shoots a cannonball, and that hits a little bit and you shoot a little bit harder and it goes a little bit further. So you can see the shock heating going on here. You just want to turn to the side a little bit in the beginning just to get a head start on that sideways momentum. That's the most important part of an orbit. You only need to get above the atmosphere on planets where there is an atmosphere. Where moons where there's no atmosphere, you can be very, very close to the surface. You just have to worry about mountains or rocks at that point. Go ahead and switch back to your map view and you can see how high your apoapse is going to be. Your apoapse is the highest point in your orbit. If you were to turn your engines off, that's as high as you would go before you fell down. There's things to consider on Kerbin, like the atmosphere that'll pull you back. But it's a general rule of thumb. You could just think of it as the highest point you're going to go if you were to stop the engines. Now, you don't want to be going too fast when you're in the thickest part of the atmosphere. I'm just getting past 20 kilometers here, and that's just past the thickest part, and I'm really starting to turn over now. Again, the most important thing you can do to get into an orbit is get your sideways velocity. Go as fast as you can sideways. Another thing, if you stage like this, try to make sure your craft is going perfectly straight. Point in the direction you're going as much as possible when you detach or decouple your tanks. That'll prevent them from slapping in and causing catastrophic damage. Now you'll see I'm over 70 kilometers here, and that's just what we need. I'm just going to bump it up just a bit more. I'm going to put it up to about 77 kilometers or so before I stop the engine, and that's just to give me a little bit of push so that the atmosphere doesn't slow my sideways velocity down enough to pull that back down under that atmosphere, that critical 70 kilometer mark. Once you do that, you can go ahead and adjust the camera however you see fit so you can get the best look at things that you can. And then we're going to go ahead and time warp. You just want to get closer to your apoapse. The closer to your apoapse are, the less fuel you're going to burn in order to get the rest of that sideways momentum to get the orbit. Really, if you were to stay right at apoapse and burn only, you would get the most efficient burn. You can see on the map here, when you hold over that AP icon, it gives you the T minus count. That's saying how long it's going to take until you reach that apoapse. Again, that highest point in your orbit before you start falling back down. Now the first man-made launch that went to orbit was called Sputnik. It was launched by the Soviet Union in 1957. This is one of the things that precipitated the Cold War. So we haven't been doing this for all that long. It's amazing we've got as far along as we have. Anyway, once you get closer, you just keep on pushing. You see now I'm all the way. Coming up to the apoapse the whole way, you want to be right on that middle line between blue and brown on your compass there, just to put as much energy into that horizontal velocity as you can. You see, I just wait to get a little closer just to make it a little bit more efficient. This is really important when your fuel is tight. You start running out, you want to make those burns as efficient as possible. And you see it pulls out now. You can see the periaps on the other side, and when they start swinging like that, it means you're pretty close to circular. It's not necessarily circular, but it's alright. Now you can see I'm never going to fall out of orbit here. I can go around forever and never fall out of it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Like it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Until next time, this is the Dangerous Gamer. Goodbye.